and that's when I earned my first $100, man, and that was like the happiest moment of my life. So in my opinion, what you should do is either upgrade your skills, right, or actually figure out a very deep problem to actually go solve, for which you can demand high ticket prices and always focus on outcome.
Rohan, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. कैसे हो आप?
बहुत बढ़िया bro, आप बताओ कैसे हो?
मैं भी बहुत बढ़िया हूँ. Tell me about your story of making your first buck. And what age were you at?
I think I was 14 or 15. So of course, Google AdSense was the first buck that I made through my YouTube channel. But then after that, what I did is I got like, after I deleted my videos on YouTube, I started like trying to understand how do you code, because that was like really fascinating that time. You know, Apple had just released their Objective-C language, I think around that time only, I forgot. So I learned about coding. I learned about how exactly iPhone apps are made and everything. So but then I wasn't a great coder, or to be very honest. So what I started doing is I started like DMing people in US, some really brilliant coders. I like start tweeting them like, hey, I am stuck with this code. Can you help me? I never expected like somebody working at Apple or whatever to reply back to me. And fortunately, man, they started replying to me. And they were like, you know what, you should try this. This is the error. You should fix it this.
Semicolon.
Yeah, exactly that. So they started guiding me. And then surprisingly, I had 2 apps within like 3-4 months, which got like 60,000-70,000 downloads each. They were simple games that I had built, and that was like on those apps I started putting like, I think back then you had this opportunity to put ads on your apps. Maybe you still do, I'm not sure. AdMob, there was this platform, I think it still exists. So I put those on my mobile app, and that's when I earned my first $100, man, and that was like the happiest moment of my life.
What was your age?
15, 16, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Then what happened? What was your college time like? What did you learn in college?
So after that, I started like figuring out more about apps, web development and stuff. And then I went to college, and I learned a little bit about digital marketing as well. Did a few courses here and there. In college, what happened is my first year, honestly, the college I went to, what they were teaching, you know, I kind of like understood that because we had covered a little bit of that in 12th. So I used to just like, you know, not pay that much attention to the classes. Rather, I would like just sit and again work on my side projects. So one of the side projects that I started was a website called as Buzzopedia, which was like, do you know Scoop Whoop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a Scoop Whoop version for only Indian colleges, right? So I used to just like, I write articles on it, and you know, I remember like I would just go to internchala.com, get like 5-10 content writers like, and give them a certificate and tell them to like write articles, and then they were doing fine, you know, 500 views or whatever, until like I decided to write this one article myself, which was top 10 party colleges in India. So I wrote that, and then I'm pretty sure
what are those 10 colleges? You and I would like to know. Is BITS on the list?
BITS and Manipal were like on the top, but honestly, yeah, they were pretty high up there.
OP Jindal must have been there as well.
So yeah, I basically made that list, and what I did is I went to Facebook, and I like, there were some groups related to like, so each college had their own group, right? And even though I wasn't in each college, I just, you know, got accepted into the group. I don't know how, but I did. So then I just posted that article in like 5-6 groups. And then, you know, I went to class, it was normal. And then suddenly I get like a call from my HostGator. I think that was the hosting provider I was using. So they call me. They're like, sir, you know, your website is about to crash. And I'm like, what? You need to upgrade the plan. And I was like, why? You know, 500 views it's getting and everything. And he's like, yeah, no, you should probably check your dashboard, and then, you know, we'll arrange another call. So I open up like the back end, and I'm like looking at it, and like 50,000 views. Like, Indians really love learning about the party colleges. So yeah, and then again, my strategy was simple, put Google AdSense there. So I did that, but then I realized despite getting so much traffic, man, I didn't make a lot of money with it, because the CPMs in India, I'm not sure what they are right now, but at least back then they were like pretty bad, right? So I didn't get paid a lot for that, but it was my next start or evolution towards like this whole online space. So it allowed me to like discover a lot, man.
Very interesting. Tell me about your childhood and what was your teenage like, and what were the lessons that you learned from your parents and the events that happened in your teenage that got you here in life?
बहुत interesting question, bro.
3-4 question एक बार.
Cool. So teenage. So bro, honestly, as a teenager, I was very interested to explore new things. In fact, when I was like 14, 15, I got started with a YouTube channel itself by the webcam that I purchased, and I used to teach people, you know, how to make jailbreaking videos and stuff on iPhone and stuff. But yeah, that time YouTube was not that popular in India. That's why I was able to, like, you know, rank my channel and everything. So good things there. But other than that, I used to spend a lot of my time, you know, doing the basic stuff that parents tell you: go to school, you know, get good marks and be ready for a good college like IIT. And I'm sure you have a good story on that.
Which city were you in?
I'm New Delhi only. I was born and brought up here. But again, the competition here with boards and everything was way too much.
Right.
So I did not pay much attention to like what was going on in the classrooms, and I was like always busy, probably reading books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, or like Googling how to make iPhone apps or whatever. So I used to spend a lot of my free time there.
Makes sense. Makes sense. One of the common messages that I get all the time from people who have tried freelancing is that, Ishan, I tried freelancing, I can make about 20 to 25,000 rupees, but there is uncertainty and I'm not able to get from 25,000 to maybe 1 lakh a month, or maybe to higher numbers, right? 5 to 10 lakhs a month. And so what do? I feel stuck. That's what most people have told me, right? What is this high ticket sale model that you have, and how can people get to that model from what they are currently at, right? Maybe they're offering graphic design services, they're editing videos, or they're offering SEO services. So how can they transition into this model that you're currently working in?
Yeah, so see, the way I suggest a lot of freelancers is, a lot of freelancers are too busy selling features, right? So this means like, hey, come take my SEO service, come take my PPC, or maybe let me write an article for you, or let me be your VA or whatever, right? The thing that you must understand on this earth, everyone has like the same amount of time. Even Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk have the same amount of time that we have, right? So if you have 24 hours, right, and if you're deciding to actually devote towards working on a particular project, why pick a project which is going to pay you less, right? So in my opinion, what you should do is either upgrade your skills, right, or actually figure out a very deep problem to actually go solve, for which you can demand high ticket prices and always focus on outcome. So for example, there's a big difference between saying I will do SEO for you versus saying that, hey, I will help you get 5 extra clients for your business every single month by implementing this new XYZ SEO strategy that has been proven to work for these 1,000+ businesses.
Outcome driven delivery.
Exactly.
Right.
So if you're like, let's say, like, I think you also know Alex Hormozi, he uses this example a lot. Like, if you sell a generic time management course for everyone, right, then what's going to happen is like the whole world will be attracted towards it. But if you create a time management course exclusively for, let's say, sales professionals working at high level organizations doing outbound sales so that they could increase their conversion rate from 5 to 10%, they would practically double their sales, right? Which is a lot higher leverage point that you can have in terms of demanding premium prices as compared to सबका लिए problem solve करना. So my suggestion to those people is, एक तो अपनी niche और target market select करो, figure out who exactly do you want to actually reach out to, who can pay you that premium price. Another simple example I'll give you. If I tell you right now, Ishan, ये मोनालिसा की पेंटिंग लो, इसको जाके कोई एक अफ्रीका की विलेज में जाके बेच के दिखाओ. Would anyone buy it for crores? Probably not.
Yeah.
But if you go and take that same painting, go to a European exhibition, art exhibition, and present that, everyone will pay you millions for it, right? So you have to go and find that target audience, number one, who can pay that. Number two, make sure you solve a problem which is painful. And number three, you focus on the outcome rather than just the features, which a lot of people promise. Yeah.
Makes sense. How do you get better at sales? Because, you know, that's something that even we at MarketUp have been struggling with. The thing is that sales is an art of, you know, hearing and then communicating, right? But most people in India, fresh graduates, are not great at communicating themselves, right? So number one, how can they improve that? And number two, what is the art of sales? So that's to ask. Serve me a pen.
For sure, man. So in terms of like communication and stuff, I think like the way I did this, man, is again through watching a lot of videos online and like listening to other people. Like I remember like I would listen to like some of my top influencers that I used to follow then, and you know, after pausing their video, I would like try to like practice it myself. Like okay, if this person is like doing like this, how can I like go and replicate the same for myself? And then I would like keep playing that in my mind until like it became very natural to me, and as a result I was able to like do that. So I mean, I could give you like some cheesy hack, but honestly, man, the blunt truth is you have to put in like 10,000 hours if you are bad at anything. If you're not good at communication, you should like wake up every day and practice for 30 minutes every single day. Go in front of a mirror and like go speak just non-stop. If you're talking to friends, अगर आप हिंदी में बात करते हो तो हिंदी में बंद करो बात करना, इंग्लिश में बात करने की कोशिश करो. That way, you know, it'll give you more exposure, it'll give you more opportunities. In college, I used to also do presentations. Like for example, कभी class में उन्होंने बोला कि present करो. I used to be like terrified to do that, but like I would like suddenly just fake it and just like do it.
That's literally me whenever I go to any college event.
Yeah. Bro, I remember one point I was in college, I had to take shots before doing presentation, man. So literally, that's how nervous I was until like I practiced it, and then as a result, now we are able to even do this podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the thing, practice. And in terms of sales, like honestly, man, it's no art. It's like really just understanding how human beings work. I could give you like a rough framework or an idea if you want, right? So the way we like to get started with any kind of call, the first thing is like we like to build some rapport, like how we did when you and I were talking. Hey, how are you? Where are you from? How was the event? Whatever, right? Once you're done with that, some basic 1 to 2 minutes of that. The second thing that a lot of people do not do is take the frame, right? So what a lot of business owners do is they get into the call and straight away they're like, so what's happening, you know, and like they just like a very casual, and then the prospect is like,
so आप बताइए आप मेरे लिए क्या कर सकते हैं, आपकी सर्विसेज क्या इंक्लूड करती हैं,
and then you are like, then no, I can do this SEO blah blah blah, and then the person is like, चलो सोच के बताता हूँ, and then the sale is gone, right? This is not how it should work. What you need to do is you need to, if especially somebody is coming to you, you need to take the frame and you need to say that, hey, look, first name, while I respect ki, you know, whatever you have your opinions and everything, the way this call is going to work is I'm going to ask you some questions so that I can get a better understanding of your own business, and then I will be able to give you the solutions, right? So kind of picture it like this. When you go to a doctor, right, the doctor doesn't like simply, here's the medicine, and you're like, I have not even told you my problem. He asks you questions, right? So you have to set the frame, right, that I will be asking you these questions. Once the rapport is built, once the frame is set, the next thing you do is you get into something called as discovery, which means understanding more about their problems, right? So you have to get clear. The biggest like thing that a lot of people do is they are like too quick to get into solutions, right? But when you get too quickly into solutions, right, you kind of end up making like the mistake that NASA did, where you know, NASA was like trying to figure out how to actually write on space, right? But they couldn't like figure out a solution, and they created like this $1 million pen exclusively just to write something, and then something like that, and then Russia was like, yeah, we just use a pencil or something like that.
Right,
so point is that, you know, understand more about their problem and understand, hey, so what prompted you to actually get on this call? What's the biggest problem you have? Tell me more about your metrics. For example, if somebody needs help with YouTube, right? So I would like go on to ask them, you know, if somebody tells you like my YouTube channel is not working, why specifically is it not working, right? Can you share your last 30-day stats, right? What are your metrics? How many views did you get? What was your CTR? What was your impression, or what thumbs did you use? Yeah, right? So once you have gotten that data, then you kind of like try to understand, what have you tried in order to grow your YouTube channel in the past? Did you try taking some 500 rupee course? Did you try to actually hire an expert, right? Because so that you can understand the background of that individual, right? If somebody comes to you and you're like, they are like, Ishan, I took a 500 rupee course and my YouTube channel is not growing, you'd be like, yeah, no shit. So yeah, so you have to understand that stuff as well, and like get like a proper understanding or 10,000 foot overview of their whole problem. Once you have done that, the next thing you do is you understand their goals and their actual motivation behind it, right? What a lot of business owners do is they just like, oh, so what's your goal? All right, that's your monetary goal. Okay, great, let's move on. But the fact is, you must understand why exactly are they like even trying to achieve that goal. So for example, when somebody comes to you to grow their YouTube channel, like, you know, you must like try to understand, why do you want to grow your YouTube channel in the first place? What will so if somebody says like, Ishan, I need 100k subscribers, why do you need 100k subscribers? What's going to happen to your life when you actually get those 100k subscribers? Some people are motivated by fame, some people are motivated by monetary aspects, right? So it really depends upon that. So you have to understand both their island number 1 and island number 2 situation very, very clearly. And once you have done that, man, you basically get a commitment check from them that, hey, if I could actually get this thing, what are you willing to commit in terms of like efforts, time and money? Because you have to actually get that commitment from them. I also like to do few more checks as well. For example, I would ask them, is your partner on board with this? What do they think? Because I don't want to hear an objection later. I'll talk to my partner and let you know. How much budget have you set aside for this, and etc. So once all that is clear, once I have that commitment, then I go and pitch my solution, which is also it's not necessarily like me just saying like features. It's literally me breaking down and showing, remember Rohan, earlier you told me that your CTR was suffering by this much, it was just 0.5%. Well, in first part of our service, what we are going to do is help you get your CTR to 1 to 2% or at least 5%, so that you can get this benefit, right? So explain them in that way, and then after that, when they are like, all right, this works, then you basically do something called as a temperature check, which is like on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about whatever I explained to you? Usually what most people are like, so my price is this, right? Straight away. Don't just go into that. Understand, right? Like कि भाई समझ भी आया कि जो मैंने बोला कैसा लगा, is it even good? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? And if they rate, let's say 7, you have to ask why 7. If they say 6, why 6? If they say 9 as well, why 9? What about it did you like the most, right? And then once they actually tell you that, then you reveal the price, and then comes the objection handling, which is basically comes down to 4 buckets, man. If they're going to give you an objection, it's either going to be they don't trust you, they don't trust themselves, they have a partner problem, or they don't have the money. And then you basically figure out which one it is amongst these things, and you try to like handle their objections based on that.
That's very insightful. I want people to go back to the 5 minutes and just listen to the whole thing and make notes about this.
Sweet, man.
How do you network? Like right now we are in an offline mastermind and you're able to connect with so many people around you. People here are making at least 1 crore every single year. So how are you able to connect with such people and network?
Honestly, all of them are my clients. So they usually work with us. So they have bought this mastermind, and that's why they are coming here. That's how we network. The best networking strategy that I could give to you, man, is deliver outstanding results to your clients, because once you do that, they will spread the word and they'll tell somebody else. That's how a lot of this existing mastermind grew. When I was able to help one individual with this, he told his friend, the friend told another friend, and then as a result, that grew organically, right? So my best suggestion is like, don't have some people are like really selfish and they like to do things for their own incentive, but rather than doing that, just like go out and just like 5 minutes ago how I shared our entire sales strategy, right? Just share value, right? And then who knows, somebody will benefit from it, and when they do, they will actually take the initiative and they'll be like, hey, connect with my friend.
Right. And then how did you come across this niche of helping coaches and consultants to grow? And how can anyone get into this field of marketing in general?
So after this venture, I started working on like some projects here and there, but then I again went back to the resort of YouTube again. So what I did is I recorded a video which basically documented how I got these 50,000 views in a single day on my website, right? So this is like a good suggestion for anyone watching, like document your journey, right? It's very important because you never know what happens. Because when I did that, somebody from US contacted me, his name was Vijay, who was like, hey Rohan, I really like what you're doing with this marketing stuff. Can you just do it for my e-commerce brand? Like, I would really appreciate that. I was like, all right, cool. So I get on a call with him and like, he's talking to me. He's like understanding what exactly do I do. And then he's like, so Rohan, yeah, how much will you charge for this? Like literally I'm on the call and I'm like Googling at the same time quotes for Facebook ad services. So
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So I think there was this article where somebody mentioned that US people charge $1,000 to $3,000 for all this, right? So I was like, Vijay, I'm gonna charge $1,500. Like I said like that very casually. I didn't expect him to pay. I was 18 years old that time.
In that accent.
Yeah, like
Charging 50.
yeah, I'll take that. So yeah, I did that, man. And surprisingly, he's like, all right, does PayPal work? And I'm like, whoa, did this just work?
Right.
And then like, half an hour or 1 hour later, I sent him like a proposal, and then later that night, he sends me the money, and I promise you, man, I couldn't sleep the whole night. I was like, what just happened, man? I was about to get paid this whole amount, probably like for working 6-7 months in a corporate if I would have gone. And I realized, man, this is something new, like you can actually take your services or knowledge or whatever you have, whether it's like an agency or whether it's coaching, and you can like go and help other people, and they do not have that skill that you have, and they'll pay you money for it. And that's when I realized like I'm onto something. Then I work with more projects, more international folks, and then that's how pretty much I entered this field. Now to answer your second question, how do you enter this marketing field? I mean, honestly, man, just keep doing side projects, and the best thing is keep documenting those on YouTube if you can, because you never know when something like hits off. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you read any books, podcasts?
Oh yeah.
Which are your favorite ones that have helped you out the most? Which people have helped you out the most? Like you recently just mentioned Alex Hormozi.
I read a lot about Steve Jobs, man. I love how he used to Steve Jobs, bro. So like I really try to understand these people beyond like just the product that they have built. For example, Steve Jobs was very difficult to actually work with, right? I'm trying to understand why. And then because he would like really push the people that he was with like really to that maximum standard ताकि they can perform, ताकि they can get the results जो उनको चाहिए, and etc. etc. So I love reading about Steve Jobs. I love reading about Zucks. I love reading about all these Silicon Valley entrepreneurs. Definitely, one of my favorite books is Lean Startup. I would highly recommend anyone who's building a startup. Firstly, good luck, but the other thing is just read that book. Principles by Ray Dalio is another great book, man. Alex Hormozi is great. I love listening to these kind of people, man, for sure.
And podcasts, which one would you recommend?
Podcasts, yeah, for sure. So the one by Alex Hormozi is really, really good.
100 Million Offers.
Yeah. I'm not sure what his podcast name is, but I'm sure everyone can easily find it. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but like I'm now subscribed to a lot of YouTube channels. Like Hormozi is one of them. I love listening to Alex Becker. I love listening to there's Sam Ovens as well. And then I watch your videos too, man. Pretty interesting. Get to see like how exactly things are trending. Beer Biceps is another one. I sometimes listen to his podcast as well when he has like really, really awesome guests, and like they're talking about things which I still do not understand how he's legally saying all those things in India. But still, good job.
Ranveer needs to hear this. I'll send it to him.
Yeah.
Great. What is your day-to-day life like? How do you stay productive whole day long?
So like I have no choice, man, because like if I don't, then everything will fall apart, right? So the way I've designed my life is like Tuesdays and Thursdays I like to do just calls, right? Where I'm like just on meetings, Zoom all day, literally from 9 till 7-8 p.m. where I'm talking to clients, I'm talking to my team, I'm talking to basically any human being that requires my energy, time and inputs. I talk on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday and Wednesday, Friday and Saturday are like kind of my creative zones where I'm either working much more on the product, or I'm working on maybe a YouTube video, or maybe there's some marketing launch that's happening that you helped me with recently, man. Great work. So like working on these kind of creative things is where I spend my time. Usually I wake up, do my morning routine, and then do a 9 to 10 a.m. meeting with the team, right? I don't want to give everyone an illusion that I wake up and suddenly I have that coffee and then I do meditation and then suddenly
morning
exactly go outside in the balcony, take a fresh deep breath,
have your espresso.
It's not always going to be like that. Just want to be realistic with everyone. Sometimes things are chaotic, life happens, even though I try to go for that, but not always, right? And then 9 to 10 have the meeting, and then basically get on with the schedule. And then one thing that I like to do is really in the evening time hit the gym, because it just like really helps you, I don't know, like after all that stress throughout the day, it's like my me time, right? So I really enjoy that, man.
1 hour at the gym.
Yeah.
That's the ritual.
Yeah, bro.
Every single day. Great.